In September, Ethiopia will be welcoming its new year. Unlike most countries that welcome the new year in January, Ethiopia doesn't. This is because Ethiopia uses a different calendar which is 7 to 8 years behind. The new year, which is called Enkutatаш, meaning gift of jewels, falls either on the 11th of September or 12th of September if it's a leap year. It comes right after the rainy season has ended, the flowers are blooming and the land is green. This signifies a new season, new beginnings. Most countries use the Gregorian calendar, but Ethiopia uses the Julian calendar, which has 13 months. 12 months have 30 days, and the 13th month has either 5 or 6 days if it's a leap year. The reason for the extra month is to ensure that the seasons stay in the right months. So while we are basking in the year 2026, Ethiopia is going to be celebrating either 2018 or 2019 in September. How old were you when you came to realize that the word honeymoon means eating honey after marriage for the sake of fertility? Historically, newlyweds would consume honey or honey-based milk after their wedding for one full lunar cycle, that is 28 to 30 days, for the sake of fertility. The word honey in honeymoon symbolizes sweetness, fertility, and prosperity. And the word moon represented one complete lunar cycle, that is 28 to 30 days, which was believed to be a sacred window to support conception. So, honeymoon is not about vacation. If you did not know, now you know. You've probably never seen a frog bend down to sip water, right? Well, that's because frogs don't actually drink water with their mouths like we do. There's a special area on a frog's belly and thighs that is called a drinking patch. Here's where it gets interesting. When a frog sits in water or even wet soil, water passes directly through its skin into its body. No gulping, no swallowing, just soaking. This is also why frogs need to stay in moist environments, because if their skins dry out, it will be very difficult for them to absorb water, and that can be very dangerous for them. So next time you see a frog just resting on a paddle, it's probably not resting. It's probably drinking water. If you have a dog, or if you have ever seen a dog, then you've probably noticed the vertical line between its nose and its upper lip. That little groove isn't just a feature. It actually serves a purpose. It's called philtrum. Every time a dog licks its lips, a little bit of saliva stays in that groove through capillary action. The moisture travels up to the nose, helping it stay damp. A moist nose is better at capturing scent particles from the air, which is one of the reasons dogs have incredible sense of smell. Fun fact, humans have philtrums too. It's the subtle dip between your nose and upper lip, although it's far more noticeable and functional on dogs than it is on humans. The philtrum on humans is as a result of merging of facial structures during fetal development. Ever heard of something called palindrome and something called a modnila? A palindrome, let me explain. A palindrome is a word that reads the same if you spell it backwards. And emodnilap, on the other hand, is a word that forms a different word when you spell it backwards. An example of a palindrome is level. If you spell it backwards, it's still gonna read level. Madam, if you spell it backwards, it's still gonna read madam. Civic, if you spell it backwards, it's still gonna read civic. And emodnilap, on the other hand, just like I said, is a word that forms a different word if you spell it backwards. For example, stressed, if you spell it backwards, it's gonna read desserts. Flow, if you spell it backwards, it's gonna read wolf. Another word. Live, if you spell it backwards, it's gonna read evil. Stop, if you spell it backwards, it's gonna read ports. If you did not know, now you know. Did you know that these things have names? The space between your eyebrows is called glabella. The plastic or metallic coating at the end of your shoelace is called aglet. The day after tomorrow is called overmorrow. The cry of a newborn baby is called vagital. Your tiny toe or finger is called minimus. If you stored honey for 10 years, it would still be edible after the 10 years. Yes, that is because honey doesn't spoil. Archaeologists actually found honey that was almost 3,000 years old in Egyptian tombs, and it was very much edible. So why doesn't honey spoil? 3 things. Low moisture content. Honey contains very low moisture, and for bacteria to survive, it needs a moist environment. And so, if the water is lacking, bacteria won't survive. 2. Honey is naturally acidic with a pH of 3 to 4.5. It makes the environment very hostile for bacteria to survive. And 3. Bees produce an enzyme called glucose oxidase to nectar. When honey is exposed to moisture, this enzyme produces small amounts of hydrogen peroxide, which kills bacteria. So yeah, honey doesn't spoil. Do you know your stomach is one of the few places in your body that could literally destroy itself? The moment you take a bite of food and swallow it, your stomach swings into action. It produces an acid called hydrochloric acid. This acid is so strong, it digests your food, bacteria, and it can even digest your own stomach. Luckily, your stomach has a protective lining that keeps renewing itself. This is a thick layer of mucus that coats the stomach walls. And the reason why it renews itself is that the hydrochloric acid is so strong it could destroy it over time. Why is the hydrochloric acid produced in the stomach? It is produced to break down food, especially proteins. It activates digestive enzymes like pepsin, which help turn large protein molecules into smaller pieces your body can absorb. It also helps in killing harmful germs. The strong acidity helps destroy bacteria, parasites, and other harmful microorganisms that may enter the body through food or drink. It also helps absorb nutrients. Hydrochloric acid helps the body absorb important minerals such as iron, calcium, and vitamin B by converting them into forms the body can use. And it also triggers the release of other digestive juices and enzymes further down into the digestive system. On Earth, a day is 24 hours and a year is 365 days. Simple, right? But not on Venus. There, a single day is actually longer than a year. Yep, Venus takes more time to spin once on its axis than it does to orbit the Sun. Venus rotates incredibly slow. One full spin takes about 243 Earth days, but it only takes 225 Earth days to go around the Sun, meaning the planet completes a full year before it finishes one day. And to make things even weirder, Venus spins backwards, so if you stood on the surface, you'd see the sun rise in the west and set in the east. So why does this happen? Scientists think Venus didn't always rotate this way. Billions of years ago, it may have been hit by a massive asteroid that slowed down and flipped its rotation. Its thick atmosphere also plays a role. Powerful winds and dense gases might have gradually influenced its rotation over time. So on Venus, a single day feels eternal. The sun will take months to cross the sky. It's strange, it's extreme, and it reminds us how wildly diverse our universe really is. On Earth, we complain about long Mondays. On Venus, every day is basically a year-long Monday. This is the strange beauty of space, and it's what makes science so endlessly fascinating. Subscribe to Simply Explained for more fascinating facts.